Okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're waiting for one more person to come in as he's spinning out up there. Ooh, there's Linda. Linda Larson's coming.
Linda, Mark. Hi, Mark.
Okay, Jim can't find the link.
Hi. Sorry.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, for coming to our Global Light Bridge Live with Janet Welker. Janet is the leader of a spiritual group called Sovereign Creators, which is in the Fort Lauderdale area. And she has meetings once a month, and she has a Telegram channel. And I'm going to let her tell her story about how she started her spiritual group, who she is, how she holds it together, why she was inspired to do it. And I'm going to turn it over right now to Alexa. She's our admin and moderator, and she's going to tell you how this is going to work tonight. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. We are planning on an hour, 15 minutes, something like that. Janet's going to share wherever we end up going. And at about 45 minutes, I will just say it's been 45 minutes. If you have questions while she is speaking, then please put them in the chat, or you can hold them till the end. We will be having some questions at the end as well. But if you don't want to hold it in your head and you want to put it in the chat, feel free to do that. And otherwise, you can send me any messages that you might have. And otherwise, Janet, the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to start off and thank Wendy for having me do this interview, and Alexa, and hi, everybody. I don't know, I was getting all prepared and I realized that I just have to say what's on my mind. I can't really write things down. I wanted it to come from the heart. So let's see. How do I want to start this?
Well, I'd like to know, dear, how you got your group started. Dr. Alex Strategakis is the one who recommended collective consciousness to me because he's a member in Arkansas, and he said it would be really beneficial for me to go over there and do it. And I'm dragging my feet because I'm always busy. And but he's always right. Every time he sends me somewhere, something really cool happens. So I went over there and I met you and your group. And it's a bit of a drive, but it's so worth it because we don't have anything like that in my area. So how did that all start for you?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was going to start with that. So, well, at first when I woke up, it was 5 years ago. I remember the day. It was like everything I'd ever done in my life that seemed off. Like this, I just woke up and it was like the Transformers. Everything that I had thought about in my life, the energy I was sensing from people, the experiences in my life, it all made sense. As soon as it was like a flash and a bulb went off on in my head. And I just thought I couldn't get enough of it. That was in 2020. So when I was working at Quest. I was a phlebotomist. I was working there, drilled from 6 a.m. till 3. And I noticed down in it was in Florida. There's a huge Cuban population, and a lot of them kind of a lot of them were awakened as well. And I remember just like having these people come in, I'm drawing their blood and we're talking about the same things. There was a lot of people that weren't. I remember back in 2020, a lot of people didn't really know what was going on at all. And it was the COVID and everything. And I met like-minded people. And I thought to myself, and then work, they were telling me to not talk, which was very hard for me, and do more people. And I was like, oh my God. So I would lose my personality after being 8 years at this job. But something came over me and I met all these like-minded people. And when we talked, I got this feeling inside of me of just like joy, and the hair was standing on my end. And I knew I was connecting more than just talking. Of course, I didn't know then what I know now, but it felt so good. And on the clock, it kept on every time I looked at the clock, because by this time, I'm ready to quit Quest, because I'm like, I can't do this. I have to be free. I have to open up. I can't be caged. Can you imagine not talking? Well, some of you can, but it was just, so I said to myself, I think I can meet some people. I can do this on my own, and I want to start a group. Now, there was a lady, Carmen, that comes to our group all the time, and I drew her blood, and she was the first hypnotist that I'd ever talked to. And so anyway, long story short, I kept on seeing 1111 every day. It was 1111 to 111. I never saw any time except for that. And it was like the universe was pushing me and pushing me to get out. I see that now. I wasn't supposed to, and it was a pretty good job, but so I said, screw this. I'm going to start my own group. I'm just going to invite the people that I've talked to at Quest and see how it goes. So I had my first meeting at Dunkin' Donuts around the corner, and I think 8 people came, and now I look back and it was chaos, but it was good, I had a little helper, and I said, I want to do this more. And that's when I saw CC. Somebody told me about it. Carmen told me about it, and I looked into it, and I thought, well, this is interesting. So I just contacted the administrator at the time and said, listen, I hold meetings, blah, blah, blah. So they asked me to be event host, and then I started with CC, which I was grateful at the time because it fed me people. A lot of people were coming in for the wrong reasons. In the beginning, it was about humanitarian projects, but after a while, so it's been 5 years, almost 5 years since I've been doing this. I found that my group was going into, it was kind of morphing into this spiritual, not intel, not politics, even though that was talked about in the beginning, but my heart kept on going to, I need to keep this spiritual, because back then everything was about the intel, the Jasara, the med beds, when they were coming, and everything was a date, and everybody was, and it didn't happen on this date, and then it was going to happen, all of that stuff. And I thought, this is ridiculous. You can't hold a meeting talking about that, but we can go inside. And little did I know what this group was going to bring me. So I was in CC for about 2.5 years. And I wasn't really following the CC format rules. I wanted to do meditation. I wanted to do remote viewing at the time, and I was told that was a no-no. And so we parted kind of abruptly, but that I'm so grateful to them for giving me the people that came. I met, oh God, so many friendships. We're all connected with the heart. So I've kind of filtered now, all these years later, there's anywhere between 13 people right now. And it's amazing. Wendy, I want to give a shout out to Alberto. As Wendy knows, Alberto has been my helper, helping me. He's kind of the intellect, and I'm kind of not. So we do well together. I work well with Terry. She always comes to the group, and basically we're just a group of people, and some of these people that have come to the group have had abilities and gifts. Either they were born with it or they've acquired it at a young age, and it's a safe place to come to expand their abilities. And by doing that, I remember telling my daughter after the first couple months, people coming in, I had no idea I was going to have gifted people. And they were psychics, they were mediums, oh my gosh, energy healers, you name it. And I remember saying to my daughter, I have psychics in my group, because when I first was a gatherer and a facilitator, I really didn't know what I was going to get. I just followed my heart. And I'm learning from them, and it's actually over the years have opened up my abilities even more. And so we just have a safe place of loving places to explore energy and intuition, deeper callings of the soul is what I love about it. And we really don't have a strict format. It's just who comes, and of course we always have a topic. um it's just been amazing, the journey that we've like had, and I want to expand it of course as well. But I really look forward to our meetups. They're down to earth, they're magical, there's laughter, and everything comes from the heart. I love it.
So What I like best about coming to your group, I remember sometimes where, like you said, you have this huge group of people, and what my dream was always to bring together the spiritual and the science, because that's like a split down the middle in society. And now they're coming together because the science is showing that everyone was right about their crystals, and thoughts become things and all of these things. And I remember having conversations in your meetings where the scientists were talking with the monks. You remember that one? And there was this bridge of light, literally, that I saw between the two, and it actually blew me out. Magical things happened on that day because you had these two incredibly powerful people with really expansive minds, and they were speaking the same language to someone who came with this really in-depth question, remember, about her new mediumship skills. And it was amazing. I've never experienced anything like that. And those are the kind of things that happen at your group,
You could definitely feel the energy when we're all together, because, two or more, I can feel it. And then we have experiences like that, where you had your phone turned off and it turned back on and it played that song that you were talking about. And it was like, no way. But doing this for a while now, I feel it when I come in. If I hug somebody, I say, what's wrong? Because I can sense it, or and then when Dr. Maria, she moved, but there were scientists and high vibe people. When we talked about that, it was like, this is it. There's nothing better than this. They're trying to talk on one end, we're talking about the same thing, and it's so exciting. That's when we do that. That's the most exciting times for me, when we do the science and spirituality. And people feel really comfortable, and people that haven't really said too much are starting to get more involved, and I'd like to see definitely more of that. um, but I know it's intense. You can almost see the light that's being generated in the group. I swear I feel that way. Like you could actually feel it and sense it. And there's nothing like that. And yeah, it's in a restaurant in the back room. And and it's something that I never experienced in my life. So I look forward to doing all that. I always said when I first woke up that I wanted to start my own mystical school. And I literally was like, okay, I'm going to wait for first contact, because I know that these off-worlders are going to help me. And then I'd have gifted people in wherever it was. I like that by the beach would be great, but it would be like I would be a facilitator, or I'd be a gatherer, and they would come in and say, I'd really like to have some Reiki, done. And I would go, oh, okay. And then I would like talk to them about it. And then I would be like, okay, over here, so and so is doing Reiki. And then if somebody else wanted hypnosis, those type of things, the ones they talked about in Atlantis, I want to do that. And whether it's with off-worlders right yet or not, but I feel that that's coming in the future. I feel like these humanitarian projects and people that want to do what they were born to do, that it's going to take off. And I feel it. September, I don't know if you guys know this, but September has been a hell of a month. It has been crazy energy wise, like this, up and down, and it's just been bizarre. But what do we get from that? We get growth. And then we look back and we're like, okay, I got September done, and it's just, I can feel the energy, I can sense the energy from other people. And, I feel like something is going to just blow for the good of all of us people trying to do what we want to do, what's in our heart.
So I know you're a triple Capricorn. If you guys know anything about
No,
astrology,
only double now.
some pretty badass energy, grounding energy, and it's required when you have a room full of these strong, energetic personalities. And
Absolutely.
Janet's really, really good at leading, and she does have a heart of gold. It's amazing. She makes everyone feel welcome, and she makes everyone feel heard, and it's a special gift. So my question is, okay, I see how you felt when you started the group, but you must have had some inkling of this or something through your childhood, or what, as years went by, that led you in this direction? Is there some way that you got headed in?
Well, and some of it is the dark night of the soul too, which I wanted to touch upon. When I was a little girl, I just knew of course, like everybody else, I knew that something was different. My mom used to call me sunshine. You know, I just felt like I had the world on my fingers. I remember being a little girl and everything looked different. I would go outside and look at the clouds and I would ask questions like, where is this? Like, it was just things that a normal 3-year-old or 5-year-old wouldn't ask. And that was one of the things when I woke up, like when I say that it's like the Transformers came together, it literally like clicked and every memory that I had made sense. So I ended up, well, I started drinking too much at, I think 19. My father was an alcoholic, God rest his soul. And it was, now looking back, that was 30 years ago. Now looking back, I had to go through this experience to get to where I'm at now. The one thing about me is that, you know, I would, oh God, it seems like a lifetime ago. Well, I haven't had a drink in 28 years and I haven't had any substances. It was basically just like pills and like forever. But, and I don't really go to meetings anymore, but anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. But AA taught me once I got in it. And even though I would binge, like every 2 years, I would drink for 2 weeks. I didn't do it like every single day. And I remember I wasn't living the life that I wanted. I knew that I always thought to myself, I thought I was something more. I thought I was something special. And yet there you go. And it would come time again and then I would drink, right? And I knew this at 19. And so anyway, story short, years later, I finally got my act together and met some fabulous people. And during that time, I was doing like secretary's report. I did the coffee on Thursday night for like 13 years in Miami. Like I showed up and I ran the meetings and I never thought, it wasn't until Marlene at the time at CC asked me to be an event host. I thought, wait a minute, I can do this. I've been running meetings for 25 years. This is a piece of cake, you know? And so I think that's where I got, that's where the fear dissipated. I had so much fear, I'd rather be behind you wouldn't tell right now, right? When you wouldn't tell. Da, 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 da. But there was a time where I had so much fear, I was afraid of my own shadow. And I didn't feel, well, of course, you didn't feel good enough, but it was different for me. I knew in my soul, I felt it that there was something else going on. I just didn't know what. So when I woke up 5 years ago, everything made sense. It was an epiphany. It was crazy. So I went ahead and then I put the groups together. I realized this is pretty simple. And then all of a sudden, like I said, the fear went away and I came true from the heart. And I basically got to the point where I was like, this is who I am. You know, all of me, you know, not going to college, not doing this, but in my heart, I felt together and I had a place in this world and I can share this with other people. And that's what I feel I am today. I'm pure heart. I'm honest. I love being with people. I thrive when I'm working with people. Not that I don't like my alone time, but I love to see what's going on in this world for people like us and more people to come. It's amazing to me. So that brought me into, my dog's making noise. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put him outside. So that's kind of the magic that really happens. Yeah, I keep on saying I was going to remember something, but I didn't. I was going to say something about connective consciousness as well, but it'll pop up. It'll pop up because I'm on the spot. But I like that our meeting, like we support each other. We multiply the energy, which I think is really neat and a neat way to it's like you never know what you're going to get. And I guess where I'm going with this and telling that story about what I was like for a good 20 years was being in that dark. I still knew that there was light. I just didn't have access to it. So I realized that a lot of people feel this way. That's why I try to make people feel very welcome when they come into the group, because I know most people have had the dark night of the soul. And now this is the opposite. And this is where we come together and we share. And you don't know what to expect, but you sure leave the meeting feeling really, really good. So yeah, that's one aspect that actually made me feel a little better at what I was doing. I don't think if I didn't have all that experience in AA that I would have been able to bring this together as well it was. And there's not a doubt in my mind that I was meant to do this. You know, especially in the beginning, I like to gather people. I like to facilitate. I like to bring people together and then watch it blow up and shine. You know,
The people that you're bringing together, from my experience when I've been in your groups, they're all so different, as we said, and they're all really unique in their own right. And anyone who's walking that path of feeling completely different and alienated is really in need of what you just described. I think that's why you're so successful at what you do, because you make everyone feel seen and heard. And when you're considered a freak, when you're walking in whatever lunatic fringe is considered, and you're not fitting into the box with everyone else, you know, everyone knows what that feels like. So yeah, I guess that's why we all feel so good in your group, because somehow you're able to pull all of us together and create this wonderful cohesive group where we would not normally even have met each other. So many of us are coming in from so many different walks of life, you know, and I just think it's really great. It's unique, and I get a lot of value in it, or I would not drive over there. And I appreciate you so much. And tomorrow, you guys, there's a live. Most of the people on here probably already know that. But if you're in Florida, if you're watching this, you can find out more. We're going to list it at the end, but there are live meetings every month in Davie, Florida, where you can actually go and meet this group, and Janet's leading it. And it's different from the Zooms and things like that, because as you know, it's all about the energy. You can't get it through a video. I mean, these are great. These are great for sharing information and meeting the people, but it's meeting in person and sharing the energy. I mean, I have left there in tears, completely blown out from sharing energy in a good way, you know, and that's why I drive there. So
that's what I was going to say when I was in collective consciousness. One thing I got excited about at the time was that I was an event host, but then they bumped me up to be, I guess you could, it was like Mary Kay, you know, where you start meetings and everything. My job was going to be where I had half of Florida, and I was going to, the members on there, if they wanted to start a group, I would go there and drive there and start their group for them. And then I would go here, and I was so excited to do that. And then, you know, we weren't allowed access to the data after a while, and that kind of poo-pooed. But that's something that I would just love to do, because we're one group. But I mean, I would love for other people are like, I don't know how to start a group or whatever. But when you get a little, even 5 people, 3 people together that are like-minded, you don't know. And I would love to see that happen. I would love to see that happen all over, you know, get to a place where someone's like, you know, I really love to do this, because really there should be more of this type, especially for the future. I totally see this happening everywhere, you know. And, you know, you come all the way from Naples. We've had, you know, some people come from Del Rey or whatever, but I would just love to, you know, meet up, hop and go places and see what other people are doing. So I would love to have the opportunity down. I don't know, I'll put it out in the universe and see what happens. But yeah, it is definitely something special.
Alberto, do you want to ask any questions or add anything?
Yeah, actually, I was going to comment that there's something that is very difficult to understand. Can you hear me well? Yeah. Okay, excellent. From just this conversation, when you're in the presence of the group, Janet is a giant. She's stunning as a person, but she also has great energy. And despite the fact that she's so strong, you have a meeting, as you described, when you will have very quiet people, very outgoing people, experts in one field, experts in another field, and yet the divine feminine flows right through the meeting. The divine feminine to me is that flow where everybody is in balance, everybody feels happy, Everybody feels connected. No one steps over anybody else. There's a time for everybody, and it is all because the way that she is. Janet is very she's non-pretentious. She's simple. She's vulnerable. So that allows her to stand and coordinate everybody while at the same time feeling as if she's everybody's friend who's yielding for all of us to participate. And it doesn't matter if the group is 3 people deep or 25, the same thing happens. And the way that it is, the number is it's always based on who needs to be there. We've had meetings where were more appropriate for certain people and they show up. There's other meetings where would be better for a different group and they show up. So it is a place, despite the fact that it's in a restaurant and that it has, so it's a sports bar, so you have all these TVs and stuff on the outside. They give us a room, they turn off the TVs, they turn off the sound. The room is for us, and it just becomes our own space. The energy of everyone just flows, and you can feel it. You know this, Wendy, very well. You when you leave the meeting, you're energized. It is not a place where you go and others drain you. It's a
Right.
place where you contribute your energy, everybody else brings their own, and like you said, it multiplies. So that is there's a specific formula, there's a specific personality that Janet brings in. And I think that if others wanted to create their groups in other areas around the country, she would be a great coach for them.
Thank you, Alberto. You're a big part of it too. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. That was so nice. But Alberto's a big part of it though too. We fed good off of we feed well off of each other. It just works. And those are people that come into my it's I try to put out there, live your highest joy. Live what makes you happy, whether it's empty garbage, whatever it is, whatever brings you joy. And that's the feeling that you have when you get there. It's just, it's like for me, I don't want to do anything else, I just love this, now my husband fell ill last, I know a lot of you know, last December. And I was kind of cut off at the knees as far as I'm doing all these meetings and everything's great, just really, doing the meditation and vibing high and getting more energy and getting more skills, and all of a sudden is like my whole life changed. And here I'm like having to take care of this man that was like 250, was so strong, and he was really sick, he was non-responsive for 10 days or whatever. And the other fear I had is my mom had a stroke when I was 11 years old, and that was the biggest scare I've ever had in my whole life. I had to do work on that later on because I locked myself in the bathroom, and I just it was crazy. And I told myself that I would never have an impact like that again. And but then it happened to my husband. And here I had to do things that I never had done before. I mean, you name it, whether it was, cleaning and just caring for somebody on that level. And I did it with ease because I love this person. But after 8 or 9 months, it's like I saw the wear and tear on myself, and I just kept on saying, you know what, I can get all that back, whether it's, feeling drained or getting more wrinkles or whatever, that'll all come back and stuff. But it taught me a lot. It taught me to be stronger. Caretaking is no joke. I just did it, and I just kept on doing it. And then people would say, oh my God, you're so great. No, it wasn't so great. I was coming from the heart. Could I have done that if I wasn't so alive and so awake? I'm not sure. But, like I say, the universe throws you things, and how you handle them is how you grow, I guess. And so I have a little one. That's, like I said, I come from the heart because I have a lot of, there's nothing that I'm sure, Wendy, you feel this way. There's nothing that makes me go, oh my God. I pretty much, that is a beautiful cat, by the way. I love my dogs right here. I'm loving that cat. Um, there's nothing that I can't do and bring. I feel that way because I've gone through what I'm supposed to go through. And there's not a doubt in my mind that these things all were placed strategically for me to get to where I need to go. And I'm enjoying the journey. I'm just loving it. And as people like you, I never thought that I would be doing this, but I'm having fun, and that's all I want, just the joy and the happiness and bringing like-minded people together so we can change this world. I know it sounds so corny, but that's what I want to stick around for. I want to watch this happen, and I'm not talking about the politics, and I'm not talking about the entail. I'm talking about going within inside and getting reconnected to who you are and to who, we're supposed to be, and just getting as deep as we possibly can and bring that out. And that's what I want. I mean, I think we all have those abilities, the telepathic abilities. I know Alberto has things he put on the Telegram channel, and I think on Wendy's, where you're hemi-syncing, you're listening to these. And I swear to you, I started listening to it again, and the synchronicities that happen to me is no joke. I almost laugh at myself. I'll drive down the road and I'll see pink within the trees, and I'll call up Terry and I'll go, I see a lot of pink. And she's always seen auras, and she's like, me too. So it validates, okay, I'm seeing something a little bit more extraordinary than most people do just with their regular senses. And we're all capable of that. And
Talk
that's,
about your tree.
hmm?
Talk about your tree.
Oh, yes. My tree, I sense energy, but I sense energy in my trees. When I had a friend come up to me and say, you have a little elemental in you. But as I awakened, I had this need to go to nature outside. I have an acre, so I have some land. I have all these trees. And the one around the other corner was a big banyan, and it had this long branch like this big, around 30 feet out. And the guy that moved in there cut it. And I remember walking my dog and I started crying, and I went up to the tree and I just put my hand on it and I sensed something, and I was like, this is very weird, but I couldn't do this in the daylight because people would think you're hugging this tree on my street. She's a lunatic. But bottom line is, I found a really big tree in my backyard, and I go every morning and I get my sunlight and I say what I need to say, my mantras, and then I go and hug it. And besides the mosquito bites, my heart starts pumping, da, 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 da. And if I can clear my mind, I get thoughts like, I don't know if it's saying or whatever, but my mind's clear. It tells me things. It always tells me I'm a warrior. It always tells me that everything is perfect. And then I just feel the energy. I literally can sense it come up through my feet and then down. And it's the most amazing. So I used to not want to tell anybody that, but I'm telling you, the trees are alive. And that's yeah, that's a beautiful thing. People still think I was crazy, but I'm like, no, this is real. It's in nature. Nature's honest. Nature's real. This is what is really going on. And I ask you all to go hug a tree, whether someone's looking or not. But yeah, thanks, Alberto. It's amazing what we have at our fingers, and what we can, as long as like we meet at the meetings, and we talk about all these things. We talk about aliens, we talk about oh my God, help me out, Alberto. Like, besides energy, just these things. And I always said, anything goes. You can talk about anything. And then Alberto would bring his stuff. Of course, we would talk about all these crazy things that the normal person just would just not get. And it's exciting. It's exciting.
Well, for example, we have Terry, who is, to me, is one of the most magical people I know, and she always gifts us with her meditations. For example, she's so creative,
Mhm.
and she inspires everybody when she does that. And like you mentioned, Dr. Miria, for example, she would come and share some of her healing techniques. These are these are things that she sells and charges money for. She gains her living from it, but to us, she would give it from the heart.
That's right.
You know, we have Mark, for example, that Mark Weber, who always brought in, you know, the scientific antennas or whatever he was working on,
Yogurt. He brought in
yogurt, and again, gifted. You have Linda, for example, who's a master spiritualist, you know, and would always share her wisdom with everyone. You know, you have Wendy, who has a tremendous ability to simplify things, you know, no matter how complex they are.
Yes.
Carmen, you know, someone who can sense your body and immediately sense what's, you know, what you're suffering from.
Sure,
I mean,
exactly.
there's just so many different people with so many different skills, and all of them share. You know,
That's right. That's right, though. There's another lady that comes all the time, and I had a job a couple of years ago, and there was a lady that committed suicide, and her husband came in. I worked at a med spa. It was all like woo-woo, and this lady was awake. And anyway, one of the ladies, when I was at the meeting, I asked one of the ladies about it, and she said, hold on, hold on. And she like tapped into the situation, and she told me, you know, what the lady meant when she wrote a note. She said she didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. And so the next day I talked to the husband, and that's exactly what the note had said. Exactly what, and it was like all Linda did was, there's two Lindas. All she did was tap into the universe, because that's what she does. And she was able to pull that information that was 100% accurate. And she does that all the time. Like, you know, the norms, people be like, you're crazy, but no, these are the abilities that these people can do. And it's amazing. It's almost like, I don't want to say an amusement park, but it's like going on a great ride, you know, for 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, but you know, we get long-winded, but it's amazing, you know. And I'd love to see the meeting grow. I think, well, I know that there's such a huge calling for this, and there's still a lot of people out there that don't know where to go, and they could just come and have lunch, have a burger or whatever, in this crazy energy, you know, it just keeps on going, you know. And I'd love to find those people, you know. I'd love to find the people that are just waking up and have no, and I'm not talking about the politics and stuff, because really it's apples and oranges. I can't bring any of the politics in that, because like I said, we have to find out who we are, and remember who we are, and then bring that out, you know. And it just flows, and it flows into other people. It's just, that's the way it works. I'm starting to babble. So how we doing on time? But you know, that's pretty much, it's just, it's remarkable. I feel it in my heart. Like, I feel the energy through us right now too. And I just really feel like there's something more that's going to happen with all of us and everybody that comes to the meeting. We have a purpose, you know. We're getting ready, you know. We're getting ready. I always felt like the group, we're honing our own skills, so when the time comes and people need us, we'll be there for them. And that was the original talk. That's the original idea that we had, you know, get us prepared for what's going to happen in the future, because there's going to be people down the road that are going to be asking a lot of questions. The average person doesn't know what a psychic really can do, or a medium, or a hypnotist. They just think that's, you know, a fairy tale.
I think that
And that's-
important. Sorry, go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Wendy.
I was just going to say, Alberto used to always point out during the meetings that we should get to know each other and exchange numbers, because just as Janet was saying, these are really unpredictable times. And, you know, we know that, you know, we're a little more grounded than a lot of people are, and they are going to need help. That's what Janet's saying. But we also need to support each other, because we have to strengthen each other. You know, you can't just pour into everyone else's cup. And that's what this group is about, that Alberto and Janet really get everyone together and networking, because we need each other. You know, I tend to isolate. I isolated for years until I came over and I found Janet's group. And now I have friends in this group that I stay in touch with. And I feel so much better. I'm able to ground all this energy that's been shooting through me and making me feel insane because there's no one in, hardly anyone. I've got Rosemary now here in Naples to talk to. And it was just too much. It was blowing me out. And now I'm able to succeed. I'm able to build the side business that I wanted to build. And I'm a much happier person. So thank you.
I can tell, Wendy, and the people have changed too. The thing I've been trying to remember is one of the things I always said at the beginning is that, we're not waiting for somebody or something to save us. I tell everybody we find a place where we need to save ourselves and go within. And that's what it's all about. We're not looking for anything out there to fix us because that doesn't work. So, having the journey inward, that's what we produce. Wendy, you've changed in the years since you've come, and now you're on fire. You're totally on fire, and it's just falling in your lap, and it's happening for you. And Alberto, your book, and oh my God, everything that you do, you're a whole 2-hour video in itself, or more. Everybody's Terry's starting to figure out what she wants to do, even though she's been gifted ever since she was younger. It's just starting to happen. It's starting to happen, and I see it in everybody, and I think that's just terrific. And I want more. I have the disease of more. I want more. And
Something that I wanted to highlight for
yeah,
everybody to understand, and I think Wendy will agree on this, because we get an opportunity to see both the Zoom calls and the in-person meetings. The Zoom calls are very powerful. They're portable. They are very available. But what happens with the meeting is more like a lab. So I used to take physics and physics lab, or chemistry and chemistry lab. And what we did in lab is what we practiced, what we learned in the class. So when we get together, we have an opportunity to practice meditation, for example. We have an opportunity, so new forms, new techniques, innovation. We get an opportunity to practice remote viewing. We get an opportunity to practice telepathy. We have an opportunity to practice healing, for example. So the in-person imposes on the individuals in that it takes longer time. The Zoom call is quick. It's 1 hour maximum. The meeting is longer, but at the same time, the Zoom call can be jam-packed with information, very
Yeah.
information dense, while the in-person is where you practice. And as Wendy says, when you're in front of your peers and you, for example, mention something like, the fact that we are working at this, somebody else may say, no, we're following our joy. It's not work. See,
Yeah.
so this is how we correct ourselves. We can reframe our perspective. We don't do politics for many reasons, but because we're not victims. A lot of times, victimhood is what makes you seek that politician to rescue you. If we're not victims, then who can we rely on? Well, we can rely on each other and within. So then it constantly reminds you, and it's that practice that allows all of us to grow. So the meeting in person is not the same. It does not replace the Zoom call. They're different. That's the reason why Wendy has brought in so much value for everyone here in our area, because she has brought in the Zoom calls, and we can combine those with the in-person meetings. That's why Wendy travels to do the meeting, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I saw, I was looking through the comments. I guess this is your area, Alexa, but I know Alex said I was activated at one time. Some people wake up slowly, some people don't. And mine was like I just got hit. Oh, and I wanted to say too, my husband, through this experience and that he's had too, he had a spiritual awakening. As a matter of fact, when he was in his coma, he was talking to something on the other side, and even the doctors were like, did you go into another dimension? And he's like, I think so. So when he finally woke up, what I wanted forever, I don't have to hide what I'm saying with him and get into a tumultuous conversation. Now it just flows. It's great to have a partner that's awake, And it's just, yes, being activated and I keep on getting activated though, too. Something else happens, we bring so much. It's just, like I said, we need more. I think that was it. I think I'm good.
Okay, let me.
I did it right on the dot there, Miss Alexa. Who knew I had to say so much? But thank you, Alberto.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mark, did you want to ask your question? Or do you want me to just read what you put in the chat?
I'll go ahead and ask it. Janet, do you feel when you do your meetings of the various types, for you personally, and then also for other people in the groups, do you ever feel like a guardian higher spirit comes in to help in the group or for yourself?
Absolutely, absolutely. As a matter of fact, there are some people, the lady that I was talking about, that can just tap in. She'll say how many light beings are here to observe, and boy, you can feel it. I know that I do. And yes, and some people can sense it, some people can see it, but absolutely, I'm not doing this by myself. I love all the accolades, and I love that everybody says anything. And because this is my highest joy, but trust me, I do not do this on my own. The word leader makes me laugh a little bit. I'm just a facilitator, bringing like-minded people together with the divine and with the lights that I always say, light and love. That's what works through us when we're really when we pay attention to it. And then when we have all these people together, yes, absolutely, absolutely. The divine comes in, and we raise the roof. Magical things happen. That's the beauty of it. If you come to one of these meetings, you will feel the magic. And I think that's what's held us together, because you have to be in person, like Alberto said. So absolutely.
I would add to that we are accustomed to living a life in the physical, and we're programmed, and that's what we've done for a long time. But we're multidimensional. If we move just a little higher, what we will see is that the planet is a pretty dark place in general, because most people never connect. They never exercise their light. So imagine what happens when you have a group that suddenly lights up the whole of the state. All those beings pay attention, and they come and they see. So whether they're there to help or just to observe, the moment that the light begins to flow, it's full.
Yeah.
We can't fit. It's full. There's beings of every kind,
They're taking
angels,
space.
yes, every type.
Also,
That
I'm sorry, Albert. Also,
no, it's fine.
the thing I was going to say too is that when we have the meetings during football season, it's loud. We can still, it's still okay for us, but you could hear the people cheering. I swear that when we are doing our thing, everything is more mellow. People are not screaming as much. It's like we're projecting that air onto the whole place, and it's a Duffys. Duffys is a sports sport. It can be, as loud and obnoxious, but when you walk out, it doesn't feel that way. You notice that? It's just, everything's kind of calm. It's funny, because it light projects. So yeah, definitely more of that for sure. Thanks, Mark, for the question. But yes, like Alberto said, we raise the roofs. You feel it.
The waitresses and the waiters are completely enamored with what's going on in the room. They're like,
they know about us. They know about us. And I'd love to know what that is, what they say, the woo-woo group or whatever. But yeah, we have people, the waiters that the one in particular, she'll hang out a little bit longer, and I'm like, well, you could come too. It's open to everybody. So yeah, great question.
I love that you have it at a sports bar, because you're not holding it as like this spiritual, must be in this little hideaway, quiet, whatever. I love that, because it's unconventional, and
Well, in the beginning.
and
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, as someone who doesn't know many of you, I just want to be witness to the powerful energy of all of you. Like I'm very moved.
Contagious, yes.
I'm very moved because I feel sad that I'm not there.
Oh,
Well, you
you're
have
just
to
gonna
come.
have to get a trip and stay with Wendy or me.
I know.
Definitely.
I told her I just got a new bedroom set was delivered today in my guest
you
room.
go.
And she's going to be the very first person to come there. So it's not by chance that this is all happening right now. That's how it goes, right? I'm ready.
Absolutely. You know, I always say that the guy, I think everybody knows, is Alex from Next Level Soul Podcast. Do you have anybody? He has anyway, he started interviewing people. Hi, Terry.
Hi.
What that's okay. So anyway, I forgot what I was gonna say because I'm seeing Terry.
You were
Well, it's
talking
a
about the next
celebration.
level.
We bring people together. When we come in, it's a celebration of our spirits, and we get to hug each other and acknowledge the greatness in each one of us. And
Yeah.
don't we come and see the good or the best in each other, and we're there for when we might be an off day. We just hold space for you.
Yeah,
And
definitely. The next level soul pods that I wanted to talk about is Alex started out doing just YouTubes like this. And then he gained so much popularity that people actually would fly in on their own expense to come and be in person to feel the magic. And it's so different. It's so different to act. So we have to have Alexa come. We need Mark, Mr. Alex. I would love for you to come. That would be awesome. So, you know, let's just hope what the future holds is going to be bright anyway. You know, and I also believe that when we come together in these meetings that all of us have been in lifetimes before with each other. I definitely feel that with Terry and Alberto. And I kind of know I feel like I kind of know what kind of role I was in with that person. Like Wendy and I both would be either like sisters or something like that. With Alberto, I think sometimes that I would have been his annoying pupil. But it's just, I don't know. I believe in the process and I believe that this is going to go somewhere. And I'm just thrilled to wait till the miracle keeps, well, it's already happened, but to keep on going and see where it's going to end up, you know. And like I said, I don't do this by myself. You guys all make it happen. I just interject and do what I can and keep it going. But my group is not because of me. It's because of the people that come. And
I need to highlight something here as well.
sure.
You make no money.
No,
There is no money exchanged at all in the group.
no, no.
Everything is from the heart. So Janet has held a meeting for all of us for now many years out of the core of her heart. That is fantastic, I think.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, because that's my highest joy. Sure. I would love, I'm always saying abundance, but it's going to come in, it's all going to come for all of us in different ways. We're all doing it. You know, everybody is starting to wake up and realize you know, what can I do? You go to work not because you have to, but because you want to, you know, we discussed that, but yes, and what did Mark say? Wish you lived in Florida. Yes, definitely, definitely. But you could fly down. Just let us know. We'll put you at we'll put you at the front with me and Alberto and Terry. We'll stick you right up there. Be our
Mark,
speaker.
you can stay at my house. You can stay at my house.
She's
Got
got
a new bed.
her new room. Yes, that's very good. That's good. But this was great. I thank you for having me, Wendy and Alberto and all of you and people that I've seen before that I never got to meet. It's a joy. It's a joy. I'd love to do more of this and just have all this stuff keep on going, you know, we're all intertwined. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so tomorrow you have a meeting. We're talking about all these live meetings and what is happening tomorrow? Where is it? What time? So if anybody wants to go.
Okay. Tomorrow I have my Sovereign Creators. I have our group. I post it every month. It's going to be at Duffys in Plantation. And if you need to get a hold of me for any reason or whatever, I'm at I don't know if I put it down there, but it's misyanoosh@gmail.com, misyanoosh at I'm sorry, gmail.com. I'm using my Gmail. I can send you whatever, I can answer questions or whatever. I'm very available. We meet there once, well, it's been every couple of months because my husband was ill, but I think I'm going to go back to doing every month. Of course, yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. I was going to say our December is our holiday meeting. Maybe you could fly in for that. Who knows? And I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't started put anything on it. But yeah, Sovereign Creators, you can definitely give me your number, whatever, and I'll send you a link. The more the merrier.
So I will post some of the information below this video so that if you want to join Sovereign Creators on Telegram, her YouTube channel, it was up and running very soon, and also her email address, you can reach her there.
Sure.
Is that right?
And, you know, I love to chat. So, however.
Okay. Do we have anything else we need to do, Alexa? Are we all up to speed on everything? Does anyone have any more questions? Did we miss anything?
No, but thank you again, Wendy, and thank you, Alberto, and everybody that came. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Janet. It was amazing. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It was super awesome. We're so glad you're here. Wasn't that fun? This
Yes,
is a
it
really
was
nice
fun.
warm meeting, and I loved it. I'm going to be at Duffys tomorrow, and I'm bringing Rose. We're coming together, and my brother-in-law might be coming too because he's in Fort Lauderdale right now, and so he might be coming and bringing a Native American friend of his. That would be really cool.
Ooh, I love that.
Shout out to you, Bruce. Hey. Okay. So, we normally do the last Friday of the month, right? But the last Friday of October is Halloween, and so people have little things to do with their families. So we're going to do it the Friday before that, which is the 24th, Friday, October 24th instead. And speaking of husbands not being well, we were going to have Deb, the psychic medium, this month, but she wasn't available because her husband's sick. We'll try to put her in for the end of October. And if not, then we'll just pivot.
I filled in for psychic.
It was meant to be.
Well, whatever, right? It was meant to be. Yes, for sure. Thank you so much, everybody. Love to all.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you
night.
all.
Okay, good night. Thank you again. Bye.
Bye.